The war in West Asia, it is now in the 24th day. Donald Trump making headlines all over again, this time with his threats and sanctions, but also with what seemed to be retreats and bad grammar. He announced a surprising retreat, taking to his social media account on Truth Social. In fact, Trump has called for a pause on. Let's tell you more about this, of course, coming in before the 48-hour deadline was about to expire. Trump announced a 5-day halt on any attacks targeting Iranian power plants and energy facilities. He claimed this decision followed very good and productive conversations. And taking it further, he said the recent talks were aimed at complete and total resolution of hostilities in West Asia. But in reality, this move is something a lot bigger. The questions are, is this a strategic retreat? Is this a step back? Also, is it a sign that his war gambit has not gone as planned? Now, Trump has further upped his rhetoric. He says it was Iran that called him to make a deal. Trump also claiming that Netanyahu will be happy with whatever they have achieved in the war so far.
So they called. I didn't call. They called. They want to make a deal. And we are very willing to make a deal. It's got to be a good deal. And it's got to be no more wars, no more nuclear weapons. They're not going to have nuclear weapons anymore. They're agreeing to that. Any of that stuff, there's no deal. We're looking for all of the things that we've been talking about. We want to see no nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it.
In fact, remember just days ago, Trump had issued a 48-hour ultimatum to Iran demanding that it reopen the Strait of Hormuz to global shipping. He had threatened direct strikes on Iran's energy infrastructure if it failed to comply. That deadline was about to expire, but now, with hours to go, the strikes, as of now, have been put on hold. So what exactly changed? The turning point appears to be events on the ground. Iranian missiles managed to breach Israel's much-wanted air defense systems over the weekend, striking areas near the Mona, believed to be home to one of Israel's most sensitive nuclear facilities. Now, for Trump, this seemed to be a wake-up call. The risks had suddenly escalated. Nuclear-adjacent targets were no longer one-sided. The Mona was the point when the war calculus seemed to have changed, because any escalation from here could have led to consequences far beyond conventional warfare. But Trump's announcement of this pause also looks less like diplomacy and more like damage control, because the US has been forced to step back from a conflict that it helped escalate. Washington has lost momentum and perhaps even face its seats. There's also been attention on the tone of Trump's announcement. The Truth Social post, written in all caps, contained spelling errors. Also, there were grammatical issues. For a leader known for his sharp rhetoric and also at times making fun of global leaders with gestures, the Truth Social post now on your screen speaking volume and posing further questions on the war objectives. The questions being, was this a calculated message? Or was it a rushed one made under pressure? Those are some of the questions. Also, was the White House rattled by the fast-changing developments on the ground? Let's just take a step back and look at how the markets have been reacting. They have been reacting strongly to Trump's post. Global oil prices have fallen sharply, dropping more than 13% after the announcement. Markets clearly seeing this as a de-escalation signal. In fact, Tehran has been issuing strong warnings, saying any attack on its territory could trigger naval mines in the Persian Gulf and strikes on critical infrastructure across the region. The conflict remains far from over on the ground. Tehran has released dramatic video showing its massive underground missile stockpiles. The video displaying missiles, mobile launchers, rocket systems, and even making claims of targeting advanced US aircraft. Iran has also reiterated that its missile program, including systems like Sajal, remain central to its defense strategy. It also released 76th wave of missile launches. And then there is the Israel factor. Israel prides itself on its air defenses. Trump and Netanyahu both claim to have knocked out key Iranian military sites. But strikes near Dimona have shaken that and raising questions also on its security apparatus. That's the question that has been triggered. Laced with Trump's what seems to be a retreat on further strikes, this could not have come at a worse time for Netanyahu. With political pressure already building up, in fact, this could also trigger serious backlash for Netanyahu, especially with elections on the horizon. On the ground, meanwhile, the humanitarian cost of the war remains stark. More than 1,500 killed, over 21,000 injured in Iran, at least 1,029 people killed, and over 2,000 injured in Lebanon, 24 deaths, 4,600 injuries reported from Israel. A look at where the numbers stand right now. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.